Now, the question is, how do we... See, I actually hear you guys saying the right things. How do we get more people in the youth group? How do we get more people in the church? How do we look after these people? And I take it that the concern you have is not that they actually build our building and build our numbers so that we can look good, but your concern is to see people brought into the kingdom of God. Let me tell you, the answer to the question, how will we do this, is in this building, right now. The answer is you. You are the answer. Jesus says to us all, go and make disciples of all nations. Paul says to make the most of every opportunity. That's not meaning you need to get up in the middle of school or uni and preach a sermon every day. Feel free. But, you know. But it does mean that if someone says, why on earth do you believe all that rot about Jesus? That you can say why. And don't just say because it beats the Sunday night movie. Right? You're going to run into 50 times more non-Christian people than I will. And they need to hear the gospel. Just quietly let them know. Quietly tell them what you're on about. Let me explain to you how I did things when I was young, so you can avoid the same mistakes that I made and maybe do a lot better than I did. When I had the opportunity to tell people about my faith, I literally jumped down their throat, shoved a couple of Bibles in there, 2 ways to live. And you know what? Do you know what this taught people? Don't talk to Dan about this sort of stuff. Never tell Dan that sort of stuff again. So when people open up to you and say, what is this Jesus thing? You want to do two things. Oh, sorry. You want to tell them to do two things. But the first thing you must do is listen. Listen. What are they asking you? What is going on in their life that they want to say? The second thing is to be sure about what you want to tell them. You want to tell them two things. One, you're not perfect. And two, God can deal with that. And if they give you permission, you might want to tell them how God deals with us being imperfect. But if not, if they don't give you permission, it is better to evangelise and run away and to live to evangelise another day. To preserve a relationship so that at some stage they may give you permission to say, this is what it's all about. Now, evangelism takes time. It takes lots of time. It takes lots and lots and lots and lots of time. Let me tell you about how I became a Christian. I've told you this, but it's okay. You can hear it again. Friends invited me to Bible study twice a week, every week, for a year at university. Every week, without fail. Dan, do you want to come to Bible study? No, I'm playing cards. Okay. Dan, do you want to come to Bible study? No, I don't really feel like it. Okay. Dan, we've got this really interesting talk on, John chapter 3. Do you want to come? No, man, I'm going to hang out for a while. They never made me feel guilty. They never told me what a terrible person I was. And they didn't stop being my friends. And it was because I valued their friendship that I said, I'm going to check it out. I'm sure I'm going to hate it. I'm sure it's going to be boring as bat do. But I'll go because they're my mates. And I went and it wasn't boring. I just went, this is interesting. And I snuck in. I got in early before they'd set up. And I hid in the far left corner of this, lecture theatre. And I saw them go past. I literally hid. I got down so that you couldn't see me. And I'm in the dark so they couldn't see me. And I watched them go past. I went, great, I can sit up. And then someone that I know, that I didn't know then was a Christian, walked past and went, damn! Okay, yeah, okay, it's given away. He called my friends up. We sat and we basically talked through the sermon. Probably not the best thing to do. They said, did you like it? I went, actually, this is not too bad. So I went back the next week. And I read my Bible, and I had my presuppositions shattered by my Bible. And I went, I was wrong about something. You know what, I'd better work this out, because I shouldn't be wrong. Wrong and me don't go well together. How little did I know? And so out of sheer pride, I wanted to read the Bible so I could be right, and then I found out I wasn't a Christian. And went, well, that's not good. I'd better fix that. But you know what? My friends explained the gospel to me at least 10 times. This is 21 years ago, and I can still remember. I can distinctly remember 4 or 5 times. I know there was at least 4 or 5 other times that I've got a vague, hazy recollection. And that's just what I can remember, let alone the comment here, the snippet there as we're playing cards, as we're sitting in lectures. My friends, you know, that was a long time ago, and I can still remember those details. When you were talking to your mates at school, your friends at uni, family members, don't expect it all to be a big rush. Like, okay, here's the gospel, 2 ways to live, there. Are you converted yet? And they'll go, no, actually. Funnily enough. They might be, but don't expect that they will be. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of prayer. And we're going to be praying for the world in a few minutes. But I guess that leads us to another area, and that is, what if you don't know what to say? What if, you know it's Jesus and you know how you're saved, but you can't really tell someone? I'm interested in running a couple of courses about what to say, how to say it, maybe a couple of things to avoid so you don't freak people out completely. If you want to do that sort of course, talk to me afterwards, and we'll set up something up in the next month or so. Any questions? Sorry, before I get there, remember that song we started off with, Like a Stone? Those are the feelings and the angst of people around us, of your mates, of my friends, my family. Let's help them find the answers to those questions. People have got a God-shaped hole. Let's help them fill it.